much longer now? Am I awake?
Alright, hey, welcome to the monastery. It's May 21st, 2011. This episode is meant to be a little shorter. I don't know if we'll make sure it is. I'm Nathan, brother Nathan, if you prefer, and Paul is joining me today, brother Paul. How's it going?
Really, really good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of facing like a stretch of work coming up though, so a little fatigued in advance, maybe. I don't know.
I hear that.
But I'll be earning money, and that's good. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, this past week hasn't really stopped me from watching films, but apparently you haven't watched a lot.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV, catching up on my Community and Big Bang Theory. A lot of stuff has started coming into my life, and I've been dealing with like real life stuff. So I haven't really had time for movies, but I apologize because it's kind of ridiculous to come on here and talk about movies, and it's like, hey, it's the Nathan Show again.
Yeah, hey, I'm hoping everyone's okay with that. What TV shows and episodes you want to give a shout out to? Yo, that one guy is really funny in Big Bang. I have no idea. I don't watch that show. Will Wheaton was in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sheldon. Big Bang. I mean, he makes that show.
Laugh Tracks, hey, in 2011. How do you feel about that?
What's that?
Laugh Tracks in 2011. Is that a crime?
Is it a crime? I don't think it's a crime, but it's probably a misdemeanor that should stop.
Yes.
That's
what's kept me away from the show. Everyone tells me, like, oh man, it's so funny. I'm just like, it's got a laugh track in it. And they're just like, yeah, I know, but, like, it's still good. And I'm just like,
honestly,
you know what?
It is pretty good. I would start with the first season and probably go on to the second. If you don't like it then, you'll not like it. It gets worse.
Oh, so you'll never like it if you don't like it right away.
Well, it's not necessarily that. Like, we know each other somewhat well. We're both kind of, like, dorks.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the humor in the first stuff is, like, geeky stuff that, like, we totally pick up on. The biggest problem I have with Big Bang Theory is that they've started doing this whole thing where it's like Sheldon will say something geeky and then they'll explain why it's funny. Because, I mean, the audience, has to know. And it makes sense to reach a wider audience. However, I think originally they were maybe planning for more of the geeky crowd that understood it right away, and that's funnier.
But then they broke more mainstream, and they're like, hey, people aren't getting all these Battlestar references, yo. And they're just like, okay, we'll explain it. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like they do it in weird ways. A lot of times his roommate Leonard in the show usually like describes why it's funny or whatever, or they've started adding female characters that, hey, guess what, females can't be geeky sort of thing. Like normal girls or whatever can't be geeky. So, I mean, we have to explain why it's funny or why you're being burned and stuff like that, and that's not funny.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those things where you laugh and then they like do that and then you're just like, really? So
you just stole my... Yeah, okay, that's...
Yeah.
Alright, I continue to be relatively disinterested, but... people like it. I'm not gonna be upset about that. That's fine. That's cool.
I mean... Community and stuff. I've been meaning to get to Game of Thrones, but since I'm like 5 episodes, maybe 5, 6.
This is the 4th one. Just happened.
The 4th one just happened. Okay, so yeah, since I'm like 4 episodes behind, I'm gonna dedicate a day to watch all of them in a row because I'm actually gonna start Justified as well.
Wait, I'm trying to think. It was either the 4th or the 5th one.
All
I know is this latest one.
I have 4 of them on my computer right now, ready.
Okay. Well, the 5th one's really good. Like, my favorite episodes probably are episodes 2 and 5 so far.
2 and 5, okay. And
They're
1 is
awesome.
A lot of build-up, right? Like
1 is a lot of setup, which you need. 3 and 4 were kind of more just kind of plot progression. Like, there was no big events to kind of hang them on. It was just kind of, things keep happening, but they're kind of more like setup stuff again, which was, you need that for the big payoffs in episodes like number 5 to mean anything. So yeah. I respect it, but they're not like a big party, really. They're not fun as much. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to start Justified, so I'm pretty excited about that. I want to start The Wire really badly, but I'm getting drowned in TV shows, and I need to start watching movies again.
People keep saying The Wire is amazing. I don't know.
I
Like,
know,
cops
and,
are
like,
cool.
the reason I want to watch it is because I want to see, like, the characters, because apparently there's really good characters and really good, like, development and stuff in that show.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff really intrigues me. It's one of my favorite parts of, like, cinematography, like the whole building of a character and doing all that stuff. That's why I like the long TV shows.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like stuff like Community, where they're all just kind of like the same the whole way through, and it's just kind of funny. But yeah, so Justified and The Wire eventually, but I really got to catch up on Game of Thrones so we can talk about that a little bit more.
I saw one episode of Justified, like the first one, and I didn't dislike what I saw. I just don't know if I'm on board for like a whole bunch of that.
Right, but from what I hear, a lot of it is a lot of build-up to a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I'm totally cool with that, too.
Okay. Like, Walter Goggins, I think, is the guy, and Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, man, I love Tim.
Dudes. Yeah,
Tim.
so he's great. Like, that Crazies movie, which I talked about already, it's pretty good. I like it. I'm glad I own it.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that it, really, then? TV?
That is really it. I was supposed to go see Bridesmaids. The person I was going to go see it with kind of bailed on me, and life got in the way anyways. I was wondering how that was, but maybe you'll talk about it.
It'll happen. I did see it. I guess, alright, prepare for a monologue of sorts. I'm going to try to keep it brief on stuff I don't care about.
Well,
feel free
to talk in there too.
Yeah, feel free to be like, what? What are you talking about? That movie's a classic. You suck. Your opinion is terrible. And then I'll be like, no, it's not that good.
You've been watching, we're probably going to argue about some of them, because
I know, I'm looking at one.
I'm sure you didn't.
I'm looking at one right now, and I'm just like, nah, but whatever. I'm gonna kick it off with like the most mediocre thing ever, though. It's a movie called Armored.
Okay, yeah, this is one I remember I wanted to see after seeing Assault on Precinct 13, because they have the same cover.
Yeah, like I'm looking at my Get Clue page right now, and I don't know whether to click like it, dislike it, or just something else, because it's like literally just middle of the road. You know, it doesn't do anything super good or terribly. It's just kind of there.
Well, the thing I find funny about that movie is it has people like Skeet Ulrich and Matt Dillon, but then it has like Lawrence Fishburne and Jean Reno. Like, so
yeah, like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Matt Dillon either. Like, I didn't dislike him in this movie. He's kind of the villainy kind of guy.
In general, I'll say I don't like Matt Dillon that much. That's why he's on the lower half. That's why I compared him with Skeet Ulrich.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a movie. There's armored cars in it. There's some thievery. It's basically just like a greed ruins everything kind of fable. Yeah, I don't know.
So basically Fast Five.
No, more like what was that movie I saw? The Underneath and Crisscross. Like, it's also about armored cars. Like, it's that kind of B movie kind of stuff, but just more modern. And I don't know. Like, if it's on and you have nothing to do, I guess you could watch it.
Is this worth a $2 buy?
No.
Okay, so I will not watch it, because I have a lot of other stuff to watch.
Okay, like, it's not very good. Like, I wouldn't say anyone needs to go out of their way to see it for any reason. It's just like, if you stumble in a room and it's on, you could leave it on, you know?
Okay,
you don't need to hit stop.
Rental.
It was a free rental, for sure. The only reason I watched it is because we had a Blu-ray trailer, and it was just playing all the time, and it just looked okay, you know? Like, you look over and you're just like, I don't know, there's armored cars, and I know who that guy is, and that guy, and this guy, so maybe, but I don't know. It's the director of Predators, which I found kind of amusing. He's a sure-handed enough guy, but yeah, I don't know, nothing special. Also nothing special. Also nothing special is The Exorcist.
Oh, okay.
It's not a very good movie.
No, whoa, you have to back that up.
So, moving on.
Yeah,
no.
Go on.
This movie was like stupid huge success. You know, my parents were talking about like how they were going to the theater to see Aristocats because they're cool like that. And the theater was just full of people waiting to see The Exorcist. This back in the 70s. I checked the box office stats, made like $500+ million, and that's $1973, so that's like stupid amount of money.
Yep.
I don't know what people are talking about, cause whatever. I don't know.
Okay, what did you dislike about this? Remember, this came out like 40 years ago.
Yeah. So it's aged badly, I think, is what it is, because it's apparently like the most shocking thing ever, and I was just like, oh, okay, so she's like possessed. Anyway, what
Okay,
else happens?
I don't think it's aged badly. I think that maybe we've been
I'm
desensitized more by the
desensitized?
stuff we have out now.
Because, like, a little kid, oh man, she said cock. Dude!
But I mean,
Dude!
that's not the shocking part. It's the whole like having this thing in your house. Like, it's not the fact that.
But there's no build-up is my problem. Like, this is coming off, like, of watching Paranormal Activity, like, 3 weeks ago or whatever. That movie slowly builds up that, oh man, there's a problem. It's getting serious. Whereas this is like, what's this, a Ouija board? Oh yeah, me and Captain Howdy talk sometimes. Oh, okay. 2 minutes later, oh, I'm possessed by the devil. That's just like...
Right, because the build-up happens after she's been possessed by the devil. It's not the build-up to the actual thing happening, it's what happens in between.
Like, how do you solve this problem?
Exactly, because how is that not terrifying that your kid is possessed by the devil? It's not the thing she's doing, and it's not any of that. It's just like, there's a huge problem here. How can I fix it? Everything she tries is a failure. And then all of a sudden this guy's like, hey, guess what? I could probably do something.
Yeah, but you also don't get enough Max von Sydow for my money, you know?
I completely agree with you on that.
Because, like, I thought, like, the movie opens with him, and I was like, that looks like Max von Sydow, but he looks old. And this was, like, 38 years ago, so that can't be him. I'm going to wait for him to show up later. He's the main priest, right? And then it's like, oh, no, dude, that was him in, like, old man makeup. He comes back in, like, an hour and a half, so just kind of sit tight. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And then I was just kind of impatiently waiting for him to come back. And then he comes back, and you're like, all right. And then guess what? Okay, spoilers for 38-year-old movie. He dies. I guess, you know, the guess what kind of implied that. So, sorry.
But, like, how did you not feel something at that part? Like,
I didn't.
Okay, but you have to admit that, like, the whole build-up is to see what happens, and then all of a sudden the devil just, like, jumps into him, he goes crazy and jumps out the window.
Yeah, he does do that.
That's a pretty big, like...
You know, I think a lot of it might have been deflated from seeing, like, Poltergeist and stuff, like, many times earlier. Because it's the same kind of dilemma of, like, oh no, little kid captured by supernatural stuff. We gotta do something and get specialists in here. And it's just like, yeah, but it also has, like, whiz-bang, flashy business going on that I really like. And, like, a family I really like. As opposed to a kid you don't get to know and, like, a single mom who's kind of whatever. Like, no offense to Ellen Burstyn, but... I don't know. I just didn't really care.
Okay. I mean,
yeah,
that's totally your opinion, and even though it's wrong, I guess I support
like,
it.
I guess I'm wrong, because, like, so many people love this movie, but watch it again? I guess that's the thing. Like, all you Exorcist fans...
I've seen it, like, every year at Halloween.
Alright, I'm just, you know, making a general challenge, like, hey, just go watch it again. Do you still like it?
Me?
Ask yourself that. No, just everybody.
Oh, just generally.
You do.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because, I mean, it's kind of a dusty old whatever. Like, French Connection, that's a good movie. I'm not trash-talking Friedkin. That guy's got some business, but I don't know.
I think also working on my side is, like, the strong sense of, like, nostalgia. A horror movie you watch as a kid that actually kind of scared you.
Oh, okay.
Because you, like...
That'll
let's be
add
completely
a lot.
honest, you have no connection to this movie at all.
Oh, no, it's more just that movie you've heard about your entire life. And I'm kind of from, like, a religious background of friends and stuff, and they're just like, oh, man, this movie's messed up. It's, like, evil. And I was like, okay, well, I have to see this now, because you've made it the forbidden thing, so I'm going to go seek this out. And then it's just like, wow, what are you guys complaining about? Like, yeah, there's the bit with the crucifix, and that's distasteful, but whatever. I mean, that movie's trying to be evil, like, with the devil and whatever, and it does that. I wasn't that surprised. I don't know.
Yeah,
didn't
best
shock me.
part in that movie is the priests, like, working on her.
The end bit where it's, like, all cold in the room and stuff. Again, like, just reminding me of the final Poltergeist business with, like, the slime and the door with, like, the big rope and everything. You remember that bit?
I do. And see, this is where we're probably going to disagree, because as you obviously like Poltergeist better.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I like this way better, and this probably
this has, like,
something
ghosts
to do
in it.
with, like, the nostalgia thing.
That house implodes at the end. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to write implosion on this pad of paper for no reason.
Okay, well, priest gets possessed by devil and jumps out a window killing himself.
How many points is that worth? Because implosion's plus 10.
Plus 11.
Oh, man. Alright. Well, agree to disagree. Old horror movies are old.
Yeah,
so.
But you know what? I completely, like, respect your opinion because, like I said, I have something connected to this film, and you're seeing it as, like... I would say you have probably a pretty unbiased eye when it comes to films, because you like a lot of weird things. So, like, I can see where you're coming from. I completely disagree, though.
Okay, like I guess it rolls better into the thing because like okay, let's just keep this Satan kind of thing going on.
Okay.
That's terrible, but The Omen, I watched that too, like the next day.
Original or remake?
The original, the Gregory Peck one.
The better one. Go on.
Yeah, and I'm like between the two, like if which satanic '70s thriller do you prefer? I'm probably gonna go with The Omen. I just got more out of it.
I might agree on that one.
Okay.
Mainly because, oh my god, Damien in that is just pure, like, terrifying.
They don't do a lot with him, but like they play off of like, oh, he's just a cute little kid. How can he be evil? And you're just like, no, that kid's evil. He's the Antichrist. This is really bad. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay. And the end bit with the smile is pretty good. Like it's pretty good ending scene.
It's really good. And Gregory Peck is like a really good actor. So
yeah. I guess the creepiest part for me was when they're like kind of just digging in that graveyard, and then they find the baby skeleton first, which is baby skeletons. That's not something you see. That's not good. Yeah. That shouldn't happen. And then they're surrounded by dogs, and I was just like,
definitely.
Oh, okay. Like it kind of reminded me of like Italian horror type stuff, like not Argento, but there's this other guy, The Beyond, I think the movie's called.
The Beyond.
It's a
weird.
Else? I can't remember. I shouldn't like reference things if I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. But whatever. Let's just generalize it. Kind of remind me of Italian horror stuff with that stuff. Good stuff. There's some good stuff in there. Between the two movies, I'm gonna more so endorse that one. Although, like, I think the ending was kind of tainted for me a bit. Like, I knew something bad happened. So I kind of could put the pieces together from there. Some of the more like iconic scenes were already like I saw a trailer for the new one, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, the babysitter scene is just in it, and you're just like, okay, well, I know what's gonna happen. The one that I think is just great for me personally, because I don't know if you know, but I like the Final Destination movies.
I do too.
Quite a bit. And there's a scene in this movie that was literally like, okay, whoever created the Final Destination series loved this movie and was just like, we need to do this more. Like, there's the bit where like a dude gets out of his truck. Oh no, the parking brake isn't on good.
Yeah.
And then it starts rolling down this hill, and you're just like, this could be a Final Destination scene. And then like glass slides off and cuts off David Warner's head, and you're just like, that is the point of inspiration for this franchise, probably.
Definitely.
Yeah. I was really psyched to see that. But yeah, moving to more any final Omen thoughts, I guess. Let you, Richard Donner or something. Do you want to?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
Okay, moving to more contemporary horror stuff. I also watched The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay, the remake, obviously. When you say contemporary.
Yeah.
So that's totally a rape film about rape.
No, see, because I thought it was. Okay, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's why I went in. I was really disappointed there wasn't more rape.
No, it was more like I've seen Irreversible. I've seen Straw Dogs and stuff. Like I've seen some pretty gnarly.
But those are like movies actually about rape.
I know. Whereas this movie, I guess, like I was told, like, dude, there's some messed up scenes in here. It's really, really messed up. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I watched it, and it was just like, oh wow, that was like literally the tamest rape scene I've ever seen. Not that that's fine.
Have you seen I Spit on Your Grave, the original?
No, I don't want to. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, there's a pretty bad rape scene.
I'm not like seeking out messed up scenes or whatever. Like
really, because it sounds like you are.
With this movie, I guess I was because again, it's like the thing where people tell you like, oh man, it's so messed up. Like I couldn't handle it, and you're just like, oh okay, well let's see if this messes with me. The one movie that I was basically challenged on that kind of thing and actually was messed up by was Martyrs. That movie's just sunk its claws deep, and I just don't.
That's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't know what's
I've
wrong with
literally
that movie.
Scrolled over to that and like been wanting to push A to like play it.
Yeah.
So many times, but then I'm like, no, I can't do it right now. I just can't.
Yeah, like it's while I was watching it, it was like, oh whatever, this is just a well-paced kind of messed up horror film or whatever. But then like it just keeps sliding down into this deep pit of despair, and I was at the end of it, I was just like, huh, okay, and then I walked away from it, and then like maybe 4 or 5 days later, it just was still there, just in the back of my mind, just like, man, that movie, what, like, it was well made, but what were they doing? Like, it's just, you'd have to see it, I guess, for me to convey just how messed up it goes, but it's just weird.
You're like cutting yourself to feel pain again.
Yeah, like once you get to that point, you're just like, man, that movie was. I don't know if it's good, but it was effective, I guess. Hills of Eyes, on the other hand, just kind of forgettable thing. Some cool stuff like isolation in the desert is kind of a scary thing, but again, like the Wes Craven original probably did that. I didn't see it. Though he fully
It's a lot better.
endorses this movie, he produced it and everything. He has a commentary track which I didn't look into.
Yeah, the
Probably.
original's a lot better.
Okay. Does it have like the same kind of rush at the end though? Because I really like that. Like when it's kind of almost like an enough is enough kind of moment, and dude just goes off and starts messing up mutants, and it was awesome.
I'm trying to remember.
Like the
It's
last
been
half
a
hour of
while.
that movie, I really like quite a bit. Like it was just like a good kind of revenge thing. It was like I I don't want to. I can't say for sure, but the character in question, I think it was Aaron Stanford or whatever. He has
It
glasses,
is, yeah.
and there's like close up stuff of his glasses are now shattered and stuff, and I was just like, is this like recalling Straw Dogs on purpose? Like, is that what they're trying to do? Because like almost the same thing. Like, dude, just like, no, I'm done, and he just has a shotgun and he's just flipping out, and I was like, yeah, okay,
No, that part is really good.
like it's
I don't-
time for this
I
now
don't know
because
if
this
it's
movie has gone on
good.
enough.
It's what's the word I'm looking for here? It's
Visceral or something.
not
like,
visceral. It's like you've been waiting the whole time for it. Then it's satisfying. That's
Yeah.
probably a good word for it.
There's
It's
like
really
just kind of
satisfying.
pent up like annoyance with everything bad that's happened so far because it just doesn't really seem fair, and then it's just like, no, this is happening, and it was pretty great.
It's the great release for the build-up you've been feeling the whole time of hatred.
Right. And there's kind of a screw you horror movie ending at the end, but not, not more so than you would expect. Like, guess what? They're still trapped in the desert, and maybe there's more mutants. I don't know. This probably won't end well half an hour past this point, but we're just going to let you go here.
And
So
then they released the second one.
I haven't seen it. I like that teaser trailer, though. I will say that.
I totally own it, and I haven't seen it. I
Okay.
kind of don't care.
I think we're lingering too much on each movie. I apologize. I'm going to pick up this pace a bit, if that's okay. I did see Bridesmaids.
I want to know about that. Is it worth seeing?
Yeah. Do you
Is
like
it
Kristen Wiig?
88% worth seeing on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, it's actually really high up on there, which is
Yeah, but do you think it's worth it? Because I found that really high.
Keep in mind, like that's basically just saying percentage of people that said, yeah, it's all right. Like the real test is the rating, which is at like 7.5, 7.4 or something, and that's about right. It's like a 3 out of 4.
Keep in mind that I love Kristen Wiig a lot.
Yeah, if you love Kristen Wiig, you need to see this movie. Like it plays off of her talents extremely well. The supporting cast is pretty good. There's like I don't know his name, but there's like this British guy who plays kind of her true love interest, and he's really funny. Like he starts off just this really awkward guy, and then like he just becomes just this sweet dude, and he's got some funny lines, and I don't know who he is, but he's good. And John Hamm's in it, and he's like the biggest douche in the world in that movie, and that's funny to see too. He's the
That
worst.
is kind of amazing sounding.
Yeah.
So, Bridesmaids.
So yeah, good.
Female
I quite like it.
hangover.
Kind of like they almost consciously go in that direction a couple times. Like there's literally a bit where they're like, "We're going to Vegas," and I was like, "Oh man, this is maybe getting a little too hangovery." But then they kind of veer away from that, and it's pretty entertaining how they do that as well. No, it's good. It's a pretty good comedy. I'm trying to think if I had any real problems with it. There's kind of like a lazy nature to the structure of it. Like it's very much Apatow style, like improvised, and you can tell.
Yeah, but I mean that's one of the things I like about Kristen Wiig is her. What's the reaction stuff she does is really strong.
Yeah. So no, there's some good. Like it definitely plays off of like the cast skill set pretty well. Because I mean, like Maya Rudolph too.
I was
like
gonna say how's
SNL
Maya
veteran.
Rudolph because I don't really like her.
I don't really like her that much either. She's okay. Like because of that SNL history, they kind of have good chemistry together. Because I'm pretty sure they're quite good friends. So.
Right.
It works as kind of that dynamic. She's not like there's a couple weird scenes where she's just like kind of trying to talk all street or something for some reason, and I was just like, stop doing that, just don't do that.
So it's embarrassing, not really funny.
Yeah, there were some jokes that didn't really play with me, and some of them were from her, but whatever. Rose Byrne does a really great, just the worst person ever. Like she's just so bitchy and annoying, and that's perfect for the character she's playing. So she's a good antagonist. Yeah, I don't know. It's good.
This
good.
seems like a movie to take a lady friend out to, where you can actually both have a good time.
Yeah. I guess so.
There's very few of those lately.
Like good ones, yeah. I think the tagline for this is "Chick flicks don't have to suck" or something. Which, sure, I guess so. It's an apt description.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay, so I watched Showgirls.
Oh my god,
The
why?
Paul Verhoeven movie. Yeah. Why does anyone watch Showgirls, Paul? Why would anyone watch it?
Well, I'll tell you why I did. Because
Okay.
in 1995, like, okay, 97, it came out in 95. I was, like, hitting puberty, and the cover made me want to see it.
Oh, okay.
Straight up.
Fair enough. I guess similarly, like, boobs are okay, and I heard there were some in here. But that sounds terrible.
So you're just saying you're a late bloomer then?
No. Well, maybe, but that's beside the point. Just also, it's just like an interesting, weird anomaly in like NC-17 film stuff, because like it was widely distributed. They tried to make this a thing, and they kept it super trashy in NC-17, and it's just the most bizarre movie ever.
And isn't it kind of like really terrible?
Like Elizabeth Berkley, I think is her name. She's terrible. Like she reacts to things in the most unbelievable, over the top way ever. There's a scene maybe 10 minutes in where she like angrily pours ketchup on her French fries while like shouting, and it's hilarious because it's just like, nope, that's not how people say things or do things.
Yeah, I can't take her seriously ever since Saved by the Bell.
No, yeah.
Remember,
like,
I'm so excited.
I'm
so scared.
I don't remember. What are you talking about?
When Jesse's taking speed. And then
what movie are you talking about?
No, Saved by the Bell.
What is that?
You did not just say that.
What is Saved by the Bell? What are you talking about? Is it like a Simpsons reference?
No, Saved by the Bell, the TV show.
I didn't watch that. I don't know.
You're serious?
When was this on? I literally don't know. Like, it sounds vaguely familiar. Never watched it in my life.
Dude, did you have a childhood?
Yeah, but I was watching like Charlie Brown.
Why?
I love Charlie Brown. This has had a profound impact on my life. I have a Charlie Brown shirt.
Fair, but Dustin Diamond? Screech? Nothing?
No. What?
Oh
what
my god.
About? No. Yeah, different backgrounds, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. Anyways, Showgirls, terrible movie. Go on.
Well, okay. Terrible movie, but kind of amazing. Like, in a way. And also,
maybe
okay.
in, like, a study of how a movie can, like, deconstruct itself.
Or the possibilities of just, like, basically mainstream softcore stuff. Because, like, it's almost there, you know? Like, it's just like, what is this movie doing other than just being as trashy as possible? Thing is, though, like, the comparisons a couple critics made months ago when Black Swan came out, in terms of, like, that plot line, there's definitely similarities. And it was so weird to see that. Like, it was like, I suggested this yesterday to my friend Ryan, and he was just like, oh, you're just trash talking Black Swan. I was like, no, I'm just saying it's really weird to see a movie that came out like 16 years ago that has similar kind of like motives of like dancers fighting to get the big role and everything. Like, it's got the same kind of stuff going on, which was just kind of weird to see.
I don't know so much that it's like copying that as like the way they come about it, because I mean it's just the greed thing, like Armored, right? Just like,
well, it's a pretty generic thing, but just the fact that
like
it's also
the way they approach it is very much like
very very different tones. Like, it's like this one is serious and like has things to say about, I guess, insanity or something. This one is just trashy and knows it, and it's just gonna enjoy that.
And in a way, the trashiness actually makes sense because of like what the movie's about.
Yeah, it's a bizarre movie. I don't know. I don't regret seeing it. I guess it's just like this fantastic disaster. I don't know. Probably not. But I can't commit to that. Kyle MacLachlan's in it. I like that dude, and he's having a terrible time. And he has since said it was like the worst experience ever. But it's kind of weird seeing him. I don't know. That guy's cool.
I guess.
Moving on.
I don't remember who else is in that movie.
It's not. It's just a bizarre disaster. Yeah. So aside from any like libido reasons for seeing it, that stuff is kind of another motivator of just like, what was this? What happened? But anyway, then I watched Blair Witch Project. That created a subgenre of horror, but it's not very good. So
really, because I really didn't mind it.
I don't dislike kind of the idea of it, but like just watching it, it's just so hard to not be like, wow, this is literally the easiest movie in the world to make.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, they were the first ones to really do it.
I know, so
Popular
I give
audience.
full points to the idea, but like they don't even like nothing happens at the end really. Like it's just like
Right, but
oh,
I think
like
that's better.
that's
Honestly,
almost
I
better
really like how it ends.
because like
Actually, the end is probably the best part of this whole movie.
okay, because the Paranormal Activity ending is kind of cheap. Like that's the end part of the movie that didn't work for me. It was like the last 20 seconds, and it was just like oh really you had to do that.
It's
But
because they
like for
show
some
you too much.
I know, but for some reason I wanted just like a glimpse of something, but instead it was just kind of like, no, what's happening? People are stumbling around. Why is she screaming? Like, who's holding this camera right now? And then it was just over. Like I was just
It was
like,
Heather. And then,
is the one running and screaming?
and then what's his name? I think it was Michael. Was the one in the corner, just looking in the corner.
Okay, I okay, I don't know. Just
Because
the idea.
remember, the Blair Witch would make the children turn away while she killed the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then the camera dropped. Like, it's easy to infer what happened, but I like that
I
you
didn't.
don't see
I was
anything.
kind of done with it anyway. So it was like, oh, how much? Okay, I'm at the 75-minute mark. People are asking me to come to supper. I gotta go. Please end. Okay, what? Whatever. And then I just left.
I will say, even though I like Blair Witch Project, I like Supper and Food better.
Yeah,
You made the right choice.
No, it was pretty good. I got some pizza out of the deal, and it was okay.
Oh, pizza.
Pizza's okay. But no, like totally respect it for what it did and everything. But anyway, then I watched The House Bunny, which Emma Stone's in it, and she wears glasses.
What did you think
so
of this?
it's pretty good. Uh, I didn't dislike it. It's not good, really. It's not that good,
but it's really not as bad as you would think it is, right?
Yeah, like it's a totally harmless enough little like female camaraderie movie.
Yeah, it's
and
like
there's like several fairly talented actresses in it, so that was okay. Like Emma Stone, Kat Dennings, and Anna Faris does a good job. Helming
Anna
the whole
Faris
thing.
is easily the funniest part of this movie, probably.
Well,
she's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's her starring role. I found myself laughing at her stupidities a couple times. Like it was just like,
like
wow,
the way
okay.
when she meets people's names, how she remembers them.
That's okay, but like just like the sincerity with which she says like the dumbest things ever.
The best parts are where she says something dumb, and then people are like, "I think you mean this," and she's like, "No, I mean this," blah blah blah, and it makes sense. You're like, "Wow."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
there's some okay writing in this movie.
On some level, yeah, I kind of liked it. Then just set up for this next string. I started playing the video game LA Noire, which it's pretty impressive.
I'm going out to buy it after we're done.
Yeah, if you're a fan of like noir stuff, like film wise, or the kind of more neo noir stuff, which I'm about to get into, you should probably play this game because it's really good at doing that. It's pretty awesome. So I watched LA Confidential, and that movie is pretty awesome.
The 1997 one, obviously.
Yeah. That movie's really great. I watched it like 6 months ago too, and I just watched it again, and it's still really great. And the cast is really good. I don't know.
Kevin Spacey, right?
Kevin Spacey's good in it. James Cromwell's mad tall, and that was like the first time I realized that. Russell Crowe, and probably my favorite Guy Pearce role ever, because I don't dislike him at all in it. He's kind of great. Yeah. I don't. Any questions or?
No, actually, just a little piece of trivia. That was the first DVD I ever watched on my first PS2 ever when it came out.
There you go. Good choice. I guess the one thing is every time I see it, it does kind of remind me like this won Best Picture, right? And then I like, oh no, Titanic won, and then it just makes me sad. But
Titanic as a movie though was a lot more involved than that LA Confidential though.
What do you mean?
Like as a
what
movie,
are you talking about?
As like what it became.
Oh, like as a phenomena, yes.
Yeah,
but
so
like as a piece of quality storytelling,
even though it's not the better film.
I guess if it's a popularity contest, but in terms of like just actual like just script writing and everything, and like acting as an ensemble and everything, like dude, whatever. LA Confidential is so good.
All awards are popularity contests.
I know. Some hope is restored by checking IMDb and appreciating that it's like a full point higher. Like LA Confidential will last. Titanic's already fading, so yay.
Until they make Titanic 3D.
Yeah, I don't know. There'll be a brief resurgence. But okay.
I will probably go watch it.
Then I watched
the
The Two
machine.
Jakes, which
Okay.
is the sequel to Chinatown. And I guess everything you've heard about it is true. It's not that good. It's kind of depressing. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, you were saying it's really slow.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 17 minutes. The core mystery at the heart of it kind of is just a continuation of whatever leftovers were still going on in Chinatown.
But like, how could it be bad? It has Jack Nicholson and Harvey Keitel.
I don't know if I go so far as to say it's bad. It's just not very good. Like, it's just completely passable movie. Like, Jack
How's
is
their
having a good
acting though?
time. Harvey Keitel is actually really good in it. He's just not in it very much, but he has like the best scenes, I would say, belong to him. Uh Jack is fine, and like he had a lot of investment in this project, like he directed it and everything. But you can just kind of like his character, Jake Gittes, yeah, is just kind of depressed the whole time, and it's just kind of hard to get caught up in anything because he's just like, oh, he's just like moping around. So yeah, it was not as engaging as I was hoping. It was kind of tough to fight through. Um, it's too bad, you know, like it's kind of lack of reputation is totally fine, like totally
On the
understandable.
subject of noir type films, what did you think of Brick?
I it was another one of those movies that was probably talked up too much before I saw it.
Dude, you
I
gotta stop talking to people.
I mean to see it again, but just like it just struck me as kind of just a gimmicky thing.
Okay,
Like
what you have
just
to
like
do is rent it and like with your newfound love or obsession with noir, watch it with a different like viewpoint.
but
It's
it's still but can't you like wouldn't you still say it's kind of gimmicky though? It's just like, "Whoa, what if we did a Raymond Chandler like noir but with high school kids?"
no,
And
it
it's just
is
like
totally gimmicky as hell,
I
but
know,
it
and like
is
I could
really well
not get
done
past
still.
that. Like I didn't care about the mystery at the heart of it because I was just like, "Oh, this is
Nobody
just
cares
copying all of
really
its moves."
of that. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was solid acting and stuff going on in it. It's pretty
Well,
good.
like the murder mystery stuff in LA Confidential is like compelling, whereas
Yeah.
that was just like somebody got murdered or something, whatever. Oh, they're gonna have like an informant type dude. Oh, they're gonna have like a crime kingpin like dude, but he's like 20 and he drives around in a van and then there's a lamp. Clever, and it's just I don't know. I
Could
was
it
just
maybe be that we're in our mid-20s watching high school students?
so it just seems like
Too
too
far
close to
out of
home or
reach,
something.
maybe?
I don't know. Maybe
Now that we could, like, be legally convicted of crimes?
so it's too serious or something. Or what do you mean?
No, like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm talking about. I'm tired.
Okay. Yeah, like I thought about re-renting it today because I picked up some more stuff. Like I'm gonna watch Brian De Palma's Black Dahlia, despite everything I've heard, because I've heard it's not very good.
I
But
watched 15 minutes of it, and I turned it off.
it's just because LA Noire deals with the same kind of murder case, which I thought was really awesome. So I just was kind of
That's pretty badass.
even if it's worse, then I can be like, hey, this video game is better than this movie. How about that? Think about that. Video games are here to stay, son. Like that kind of stuff.
Would you say they're art?
Yes, some of them.
This is really not a discussion we should be getting into.
Okay. Then I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit because I basically
Yes.
saw people arguing on Twitter like, "Hey, which is better, Chinatown or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?" And the answer is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I completely agree with you. It's probably one of my favorite movies.
It's like so corny and goofy at times, but I just really like it. And
But like
yeah, Christopher
everything
Lloyd,
it
you
does,
said
it totally like it means to do everything that it does, and I love it. I was talking with someone about it today actually, and we both, I think everybody probably agrees, where he gets like run down and then comes back up all skinny.
yeah.
That's terrifying.
No, I remember. Yeah, you're right. Like you tweeted that or something, and I saw or Facebook something, and I saw that scene as like a kid, and it was just terrifying. It was the most messed up thing ever. Like that was all I caught of that movie, and I was like, "What is this terrifying horror show?"
I think
And
it's the way he gets up is just, oh my god, and
not
he's
just any
wobbling
tune,
around.
and yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
When I killed your brother, I talked just like this.
He
It's
pops
good.
his eyes out and everything.
Yeah, yeah, that end bit. His death is pretty lame though. Like I forgot how quickly that happens.
Yeah,
Like he's just
and
being all menacing with his
and
tune
it's so
blade.
corny. He's just like, no,
I'm
the whole
melting.
time.
Yeah, and it's whatever. It's still fine. I quite like that movie. I guess the one thing I wish Robert Zemeckis would give up his terrible animation ideas and just make good movies again. Because he used to do it so well. Castaway is great. I don't know if you know.
Um,
Everything past
yeah,
that,
I guess.
I don't enjoy at all. You know?
I think they need to find a way to do a Who Framed Roger Rabbit again.
Like another animation meets reality.
But like
Space
done.
Jam.
It was, I don't know, it was just so good. Maybe it's the people they had behind it. Like Bob Hoskins, come on.
Yeah.
He's
Space
so
Jam,
good in that role.
dude. Space Jam.
Okay, I'll go out on a limb and say Space Jam was like the last great frontier on that front.
I never saw Looney Tunes back in action. Should I?
I don't know, but I'm gonna say no. Because
Brendan Fraser's in it and Steve Martin. So maybe.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
I brought it up. I love Space Jam. Space Jam's amazing. Anyway. Yeah, that kind of stuff would be okay. I guess maybe it's gotten to the point where they're trying to make it more realistic, so it's like Gollum and stuff. Like animation meets reality.
And you know what? That is totally fine, but I want like cartoon animation again meets reality.
Like, yeah, it's just understood, like, no, this person is a living cartoon, and they exist in this world. And it's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, no, there's definitely room for more of that.
And Jessica Rabbit, right?
Yeah. Although, it's not Kathleen Turner's singing voice, though, and that bothers me now. Because it's just, like, so obvious. You can just tell.
Oh, I just remembered that whole part with, like... is it Donald and Daffy doing the battling piano?
The battling piano stuff? Yeah, that's in there.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, like the meeting of Disney with Warner Brothers stuff is pretty amazing. Like Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny just kind of hanging out. That's awesome. I don't know.
That whole scene is really good. That whole movie is really good.
But I really love the Toontown stuff. Like that's when I just perk up and it's just like, man,
with like the sun and everyone singing.
It's just great. Everything that happens in Toontown is pretty awesome. A droopy dog and I don't know. But yeah. Speaking of Robert Zemeckis, let's move into
I'll
news.
follow you on that.
Okay. So his animation kind of techniques and such are being applied in the new Steven Spielberg film, Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah.
Which has some ridiculous subtitle too, doesn't it? Like I didn't see it on the trailer.
Secret Unicorn or something?
Something about that.
Yeah.
They released the trailer this past week, and I have somewhat mixed feelings about it. I made you watch it. What was your impression?
I think it looks really good. I'm excited for it, but I'm more interested in what you have to say because you're a Tintin fan.
I am a Tintin fan. I read the books a bunch. Watched the show.
That show is pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, it's good. I guess I'm not super concerned about like the writing or anything, or like the cast sounds pretty solid. It's just the animation, like just seeing Tintin's face at the end of that trailer just didn't look right. It just looked weird. I don't know. Like they're still not there yet. So why do you keep trying to push in this direction of like it's kind of like real people but not?
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you would prefer it if they went just like a 3D version of the cartoon.
Sure, like just more like
go
Pixar-y,
one way or the other.
Like just embrace like no, this is animated and we're gonna make a full blown animated film. We're not gonna do weird motion capture stuff and try to do kind of that kind of stuff because then it just looks. It's like it's Uncanny Valley stuff, It's just gonna land square in the middle of the Uncanny Valley, and I'm just gonna be uncomfortable the entire time.
I completely understand where you're coming from too, because like the trailer starts off with a dog, and you think it might be just like the cartoon and like a 3D format with like roundish head. That would be amazing.
Right. That's what kind of bothered me about the trailer, because it almost seemed like they were trying not to show that stuff for the majority of it. Like it's just like, hey, here's Snowy, here's the back of a person. Here's like a ship, here's a desert, and then at the end they're just like, and hey, this is what the people are gonna look like. What do you think? And I was just like, like
almost like they are like obligated to show just so people,
it's like we need to show you the character. Like I don't know if they were trying to like hold back. Like what is this? Is this Tintin? Because it's obviously Tintin. I mean, he's wearing the blue shirt and he's got his hair up and everything. He doesn't say great snakes, but it's him.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's just, like, and Spielberg, I mean, I'm not to some extent, I am a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull apologist.
I still have yet to see it, but I'm pretty sure I like movies a lot of people hate.
Yeah, like it's got a lot of impressive stuff in it in some regard.
And Indiana Jones, come on.
I know, like there's like walking out of it the first time I saw it, I was like, that was pretty great. But I saw it 3 times over the course of that summer, and then just kind of got fatigued. And then like the internet exploded with hatred, and I couldn't help but get.
Which I never understood, because like if you think about it, Last Crusade, million-year-old Templar guarding the Holy Grail. Come on.
No, but aliens, that's just silly.
Yeah, because there's not a possibility of that. I believe in aliens, by the way. Anyways, go on.
But also they're kind of aping like 1950s sensibilities because it's a new decade. Like there's tons of justifications for everything they did in that movie, with the possible exception of some of the CG stuff just looked kind of bad. Like
and
the
all
Gophers.
Those movies were never meant to be like time
realistic.
Pieces. I mean, they're just mixtures of all the best action movies from like the 50s and stuff.
Well, it's a high camp kind of thing, yeah.
Exactly. So like, I don't know. We could talk about internet hatred all day. So
right. But
shouldn't.
Like even though I'm kind of on board with that movie, like it's still not. That was the last example of Steven Spielberg working on anything that has happened, and it wasn't his strongest, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I'll completely agree with you on that.
And I don't know. Like, I just don't know how this is going to turn out. Like, I mean, I love the characters and the subject matter. I don't like the animation stuff because Beowulf didn't work for me, and Christmas Carol,
Beowulf was a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
I really like the tale of Beowulf.
It's just not a technique. Actually, yeah, I grew up reading kind of an abridged kids version of it, and Grendel, that's cool stuff. And
yeah, I mean, it's pretty badass, right? Like, all his adventure stuff.
Yeah, no, it's classic medieval stuff, and then it's just, I don't know, something about it just, I think Angelina Jolie didn't help. Not that I dislike her, but she just seemed out of place somehow.
No, I agree, and, like, I'm in love with her, so that says a lot.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it can be chalked up to the animation stuff. Like, it's just too, it's not stylistic enough to be just inherently kind of good looking. It just looks weird. But anyway, we've harped on this enough. I'm worried about it. Check out the trailer. What do you think? Post it on our Twitter.
Or email is fine too.
Sure. Yeah, feedback on that. Briefly, we're just going to talk. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger was kind of on the verge of a big comeback.
Yeah, a huge one, actually.
Yeah. And that's kind of been postponed now because of this love child thing that's happened. Which, yeah.
I had a love child once.
Really? Wow. It's a lot of responsibility. Or is it? I guess you're shirking the responsibility, right?
Well, no, things happened.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I was pretty sure you were kidding, and then last bit was given with a great deal of conviction, so I got a little concerned, but never mind. We're good. I don't know. Do you want Schwarzenegger back? Is the kind of main thing?
No, I don't.
Like, can he still do the action thing at like 60 whatever?
Oh, he absolutely can, but I don't want him back. I want a new Schwarzenegger. I want this generation's Schwarzenegger, Willis. I want all of them in a new form. I don't want the old guys doing their thing anymore. Maybe as like mentors in a movie.
Yeah, like when he showed up in Expendables, I was kind of into that, but
and really it makes sense.
Yeah. And I did enjoy seeing Stallone like throwing dudes around and stuff again. Like that's cool.
That's because Stallone is still like a roid junkie.
Yeah,
he's huge.
He is huge. Yeah, you're right. We do kind of need a new generation of action stars, but like, yeah, and I like having seen Around the World in 80 Days, which was like his last film stuff. Like his comedy stuff, I don't know. I've never really found him that funny. Like, Twins is a movie I've seen more than once for some reason. It's not that good. Really?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. Moving on to Lars von Trier.
Yes.
We'll start with the good news, and then we'll move into what else happened. He's working with Martin Scorsese, apparently, on this thing called the Five Obstructions Project or whatever. Have you heard about this?
I haven't, no.
Okay. Apparently it was a documentary that Trier made in 2003 about this filmmaker friend of his, Jorgen Leth. He basically challenged him to remake a movie he'd already made with different kind of challenges that Von Trier would pose to him. And apparently one of them in that movie was no shot could be longer than half a second. That's messed up. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Like, just, like, throw weird kind of technique stuff at him.
So basically it's real-life movie achievements.
Sure, like, can you tell this story given these constraints and stuff?
Achievement unlocked.
Right. And apparently he's working with Martin Scorsese on this. So he's going to task Scorsese with remaking one of his films. They don't know which one yet. A lot of people are saying Taxi Driver, perhaps. Other people are speculating maybe it'll be something simpler, like one of his short movies.
They should try for Taxi Driver. That would be crazy.
Did you ever see The Big Shave?
No, I didn't.
It's kind of one of Scorsese's more known early short films. It's messed up. Like, dude's shaving, then he cuts himself and just keeps cutting himself. And just like, what is going on?
I totally have seen that. I didn't know that's what it was called, though.
Yeah. So something along those lines. They're collaborating on this. That's kind of cool, right? I mean, interesting experiment, pushing Scorsese into weird directions.
No, I mean, that's really cool, but I gotta tell you something that's not.
Mm-hmm.
Hitler.
Okay. Yes. No, you're right.
So, I don't want to... Do you like Lars von Trier?
Okay. It's kind of weird because, like, I'm just kind of recently, since Antichrist stuff, I've just been kind of, like, giving him any consideration because I wasn't really aware of him before. Like, I've heard of Breaking the Waves, and I've heard it's good.
Would you say that maybe you're somewhat of a fan right now?
I'm somewhat intrigued by his films, I guess.
Okay, listen to this. I really wanted to be a Jew, and then I found out I was a Nazi because my family was German.
Mm-hmm. Wait.
So, what do you think now?
I'm still fine. Did you see the video?
What can I say? I understand Hitler.
Okay, did you see the video, though?
Of course I did. I had to see that.
Okay. I'm honestly, like, I don't want to just be like, no, dude, he's right. But, like, I was not... he's clearly just failing horribly at telling a really, like, an edgy joke, you know?
Yeah, I know, but the worst part is he keeps digging.
Also, I think the problem is compounded by the fact that, like, English isn't his first language.
I understand the man.
Yeah.
I sympathize with him.
The word sympathize sounds really bad in this context, too. But
he ends off with saying something like Jews are a pain in the ass.
No, Israel's a pain in the ass. Like, he's apparently the part of the story that isn't really being told is, like, the grander context of it all. Like, if you see the headlines that are coming out of this, it's ridiculous. Like, it's like, Von Trier goes on Nazi rant at Cannes, and it's just like,
no,
whoa.
It's totally not a rant. It's clearly like you or me being put in the spotlight. Because
it's like a rambly, awkward moment.
Yeah,
about
we're not
Nazis.
Public speakers. I don't think he is too. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just
see his mannerisms and stuff. Yeah, it's just him, like, just being the most awkward, like, just like, oh no, what do I do? Oh, I'm scared, and just, like, keeps stumbling around, saying things. And yeah, Kirsten Dunst is in the shot, just looking terrified, like, just like, what is he doing? Smiling, like, just whatever, haha. Like, it's the worst. It's the most awkward moment I've seen in quite a while.
If I said that I sympathize with him at that moment, would you call me Mein Führer?
If you said you sympathize with
Lars von Trier at that moment, do you think I'm a Nazi?
I've been dancing around it, but no, because I also sympathize. Like, I've said weird things, like, because, like, I have German heritage too, and, like, I've been reading some stuff about, like, you know, Hitler's beginnings and whatever, and, like, the movie Downfall kind of has some sort of, you know, what is this guy about?
I'm going to quickly say something that not many people know.
Okay.
I recall writing a paper in Social saying that I completely understand where Hitler was coming from, and I got such a bad response, it wasn't even funny. I know. I really understand where this dude's coming from.
You can never say stuff like that about him because he's the the worst thing that's ever happened.
And then when you try backpedaling, you look worse.
I know. Like, there's no way out of it once you've gone that far. Like, in fact, I've already maybe gotten in trouble a bit here saying things just in my own mind. I don't want to sound weird, but it's just like you just think about him and how he was raised and like him trying to get into art school and stuff. Like there's stuff you can relate to him through
because no matter what,
before
Hitler
World War II
wasn't
happened.
complete evil. He was a human being. You have
No,
to
I know.
be able
Like
to
you're
relate.
you're looking at a human being story and how he got corrupted over time and became something awful. And like I think he was trying to convey something along those lines because he starts talking about like Jewish architects and stuff to try to be like, no, whatever. I'm like talking from as an artist and whatever. It's just like it's just the worst thing to get caught up in the middle of, and like everyone kind of just wanted to get off the topic and it's like, okay, can we move on to something else? But like at that point, it was kind of too late. End result of all of this, he's been banned from Cannes forever, I guess. Like, yeah. Apparently,
Yeah.
like, I read up, like, a follow-up story. Like, I was like, wow, that's kind of harsh. I mean, it's like banning a comedian for just bombing terribly, Like, I get that the joke was tasteless.
Go to
the joke
Michael
was
Richards
tasteless.
situation.
Yeah, like, I mean, they kind of did, I guess, in a sense, too. You haven't really seen him since then on anything.
That killed his career.
Yeah, but although actually no, he was in the Curb episodes after, and they kind of make mention of it. It's kind of funny.
But he kind of has to be.
I know
because they're reuniting the Seinfeld cast, so like
I know.
he
so,
has to be
but
there.
They play with that kind of thing that happened quite well, though. That episode's really good.
Yeah.
What was I going with? Like,
right.
Nazi how extreme it was. Right. France, apparently, it's illegal to say anything anti-Semitic. So
okay,
they judge that as that, and they're just like, no, you're persona non grata. You're not allowed here anymore. And he's since been like, okay, I mean, I've had this reputation already as being like a provocateur, so that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, like it's hard to get mad at the guy for doing something like that when he does a movie like Antichrist.
I know, like he's already just
like
so
he's already
out there,
pushing the boundaries everywhere.
Consciously,
so, like,
yeah.
How is this
and then
any different?
It isn't, but it was kind of like accidental, I guess. It wasn't interpreted the right way, really. Yeah. Can we sympathize with Lars von Trier and
Without
not
being
be
Nazis?
Demonized or whatever? Because it's such a messy situation. Like it's just such a taboo topic, I guess, to say anything remotely positive about him at all. So
how long until Hitler's funny?
I don't I thought we already got there when like Mel Brooks was joking around about it in like The Producers in like the 60s.
No,
like,
dude, only Abraham Lincoln's funny now. So I mean, I think we still have a few years.
I don't even what? Okay,
People
but like he's been the subject of satire and stuff. Like so you can make fun of him, but you can't
talk about him.
I need to see Downfall now just to know like what that movie's tone and message is, because like that's interesting in that it's just like this movie is about him,
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you make a movie that stars like about a person without being completely at least somewhat even-handed about it? That would seem to be the challenge, because
totally.
He's your protagonist in this scenario. I gotta see that. Isn't that that's the director of Silent Hill, so weird. Anyway, Lars von Trier, I'm gonna watch Dancer in the Dark as a result of this, just see what that's about, go see some more of his films. And I was interested in Melancholia, like, before all this happened. Like, the trailer and stuff looked really cool. So...
Well, I mean, it still looks really cool.
I know. You're right. It still does. This doesn't change anything, other than some people's perception of him as a person.
So I think we'll go see Melancholia and we'll be called Nazis? Maybe?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll play here. It's still in competition technically, but its odds of winning anything are severely hindered now.
Definitely,
And all right. So what's your choice for this week? I guess. What is your recommendation? We'll end on that.
The Exorcist. Really?
Okay.
Just to spite you.
Okay. I guess I should say which cut, because I watched the version you've never seen. The longer one.
Whatever.
Is that not the one to see? Both of them are awesome.
Like 3 parts. So.
Okay. Okay. I guess my legit on the level recommendation is LA Confidential.
Okay. Awesome.
Tangentially, you should play LA Noire.
I'm gonna try to get out of here and do that tonight.
And the trashy gem of the week goes to Showgirls, because man, that's unlike anything.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer to a serious one, not to spite you, but because I really like it. Obviously, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Okay, there you go. So,
watch
it's a lineup of stuff to watch.
Seen it.
Yeah, same with LA Confidential. Watch it again if you've seen it. It's really good.
I don't own that movie. I should go buy it.
You should. I kind of realized a while ago, oh man, I gotta buy that, and then I did, and I didn't regret it because I needed to watch it in a pinch, and it happened. But anyway, thanks for joining us once again. Sorry, it was primarily me talking, but Paul needs to get on his movie watching. Put life on hold again. It's fine.
Everybody.
Okay, and we gotta go. So catch you next week here on the mountaintop.
See ya.
The time it was again. When I get through this day, can someone tell me how? And how much longer now am I through this day? Can someone tell me how? And how much longer now am I